So this week our story is Cactus Soup, and it is a folk tale. So folk tale means what? Who wants to read the definition for us? Hey, Kelsey?
Stories that are passed down from generation to generation. A long time ago, they started by word of mouth or oral tradition. The story teaches a lesson.
Okay, so they're passed down. They're trying to teach us a lesson by the story. Okay, there are several different types of folk tales. Fairy tales. So think back to some fairy tales that were passed down from a long time ago. Maybe when I was a kid I heard it, and now y'all are kids and y'all hear the same stories. They teach you a lesson. What's one that you can think of? Bryson? The Three Little Pigs. Good. Say that again.
The three little pigs did not go to the forest.
Oh, so they were trying to teach you to not go to through the forest alone. Okay. What else, Kelsey?
Little Red Riding Hood.
Little Red Riding Hood. What were they trying to teach us there?
That you don't talk to strangers and don't wander alone in the woods.
Don't talk to strangers. Don't be by yourself in the woods. Maybe not believe everybody, but don't be so trusting to people that are pretending to be somebody else. What else, Javea? Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Good.
Or Rapunzel. Yes.
Rapunzel? Were they trying to teach us a lesson in Rapunzel?
Yeah.
I don't know Rapunzel. I'm just saying.
You're just saying that because you know that's a fairy tale?
Rapunzel.
Okay, so let's look at some other types. Myths, fables, parables, legends, and tall tales. Okay, so stories that are from a long, long time ago, and they teach us a lesson. That's what a folk tale is. Okay, so let's flip to the next page and go over some examples. We already know what a folk tale is. We just said it. It is a story that teaches us a lesson. That's the main thing. So do you think the story this week is probably going to have a lesson to teach us?
Yes.
Yes, because we're focusing on folk tales this week. So our story is going to have some type of lesson in there. So as you're listening to the story today, I want you to think about the lesson they're trying to teach you. Okay? A story that teaches us a lesson, and it's also passed down. This isn't a sentence, it's just jotting down notes. So I don't have a capital or a period because I'm just jotting down a note, not a paragraph or a sentence. Okay, so some of the ones we've already said. Little Red Riding Hood. Quickly, because we already had a restroom break. We went right when we came in from recess. Little Red Riding Hood. Another example. Well, let's look at the pictures on here. Did y'all notice this guy right here? What do you think that's a picture of?
Beanstalk.
Jack and the Beanstalk, right here. Do y'all know this story? Tortoise and the tortoise and the hare. Yeah, where they race. Okay, so Jack and the Beanstalk. Man, these stories are old. They've been passed down. It's been a long time since I've read or listened to some of these stories. So tomorrow we'll look at some examples of folk tales, and we're going to compare it to the story that we're reading today. So we have Little Red Riding Hood, Jack and the Beanstalk, and Tortoise and the Hare. Okay. So this one, y'all remember what this one's about?
Yeah.
They're racing. You expect the bunny to win, but the tortoise actually outsmarts the hare. And the bunny kind of is overconfident, thinking he's going to win anyways, but the tortoise ends up beating him. Kelsey?
Like at the beginning, the hare kept on teasing the tortoise, telling it that it's slow, it's never gonna outstand him.
Right. So the tortoise, he could have easily given up, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't give up. That was the lesson they're trying to teach you. And to not listen to people tell you things that maybe they're negative and it would be real easy to believe them and get down on yourself. But the tortoise, he didn't stop believing in himself. He worked hard and he didn't give up. And he outsmarted that hare because he actually won. Okay? So now I want us to listen to our story of the week and see what lesson it's trying to teach us. How is it a folk tale? Okay, so the story is called Cactus Soup. How many of you have heard of that book before? Have you heard of Stone Soup?
No. Yes.
So they're very similar, and you'll see, because we are going to listen to Stone Soup tomorrow, but today we're going to... Okay, so here is the book, Cactus Soup. It is by Eric A. Kimmel and pictures by Phil Hewling. Okay, so before we start reading, I want you to look at the cover of the book. Where do you think the story is going to take place? What is the setting? Raise your hand, Evangeline.
In the desert because of the background.
Good. She says in the desert because of the background, the cactus. Okay. Outside. Good. What do you notice about the boy and how he's dressed? Kelsey?
He dressed as he's dressed like he's in a western or a cowboy. So.
Kind of like a western cowboy, she says. Okay. Do you notice anything, Kaylee? You had your hand up. Oh, you were just wanting to talk earlier when you saw the cactus, though. What about this? Does anybody know what this is? Draped over his shoulder? Not the bird, but this.
That's a snake.
What is it? It's just like some type of little thing that they wear in maybe southern
That's their jacket.
border countries, border cities.
So that's their vest.
Like a vest? Okay. So we said that this is a folk tale. What else do you know about folk tales? Kelsey?
That they're not real.
They're not real, okay? So there may be some things in there that aren't really possible. It could be made up, kind of like a fairy tale.
It might be done.
What else? Well, we've already talked about several examples, so let's go on. Do you know this story, Stone Soup?
No.
No, okay. Nobody's read this story before
No.
or listened to it. Okay. Cactus Soup.
Oh.
Okay, here we go. So listen carefully. Remember, as we're listening, you're going to try to figure out what lesson they're trying to teach us. Okay? What did you notice about the letters, too? Isn't that kind of cool? It's a cactus. And then this part looks like steam. One day, a troop of soldiers came riding toward the town of San Miguel. So it wasn't really a cowboy hat. It was what?
I like a chip hat. One of those chip hats.
A chip hat. Nobody knows what these are called?
Sombrero.
Sombrero.
I like that chip.
Not everyone was happy to see them. Soldiers are all alike, no matter whose side they fight on, the mayor grumbled. They eat like wolves. There won't be a tortilla left when they get through. What should we do? The people asked. We'll do what we always do, said the mayor. We'll hide our food and tell the soldiers we have nothing to give them. They'll leave when they see they aren't going to be fed. You think the townspeople are pretty happy, or are they upset?
Happy. They have a frown.
Bryson had it. They're upset. Why are they upset, Kaylee?
Because the soldiers are going to come and steal their food.
Yes, he said the soldiers were going to come steal their food. And now they're thinking maybe we need to hide it. Maybe we need to hide our food. Hey, y'all need to listen. Y'all immediately said happy, and the pictures didn't show happy faces. And the words didn't talk about them being happy either. So pay attention. Everyone in San Miguel went to work. They buried their sacks of beans and cornmeal in their gardens and lowered baskets of tortillas and tamales into the old stone well. Some hid chickens under their beds and ducks and geese in the bathtubs. Several carried pigs up to the rooftops while their neighbors herded cows and sheep into the cellars. The children hung strings of chili peppers high in the trees where no one would see them. So what are they doing right now?
Hiding their food.
Hiding their food. They're preparing for the soldiers to come, and they don't want their food to be taken.
Wait, live pigs? Yeah.
Once that was done, the townspeople put on torn, dirty clothes, smeared mud on their faces, and tried their best to look like poor, hungry people. Why would they want to look like poor, hungry people, Evangeline?
Because like they don't have food, so the soldiers won't eat their food.
Yeah, so they're trying to look poor so the soldiers will think that they don't have anything to give. Nothing for them to take.
But they're really hiding it.
The soldiers came riding into town on prancing horses. They wore wide sombreros with leather bandilleras slung across their chest. The captain saluted the mayor and townspeople. Senor Alcalde, my compañeros, and I have been riding all day. We're tired and hungry. Can you spare some beans and tortillas? We would be so grateful. The mayor frowned. I am sorry, Senor Capitan. As you see, our town is very poor. Other soldiers came by the other day. They ate the few beans and tortillas we had. Now we have nothing. There isn't even enough for the little ones. The parents nudged their children, who began crying bitterly, just as they had practiced. So, do you think the mayor is being kind of deceitful right now?
Yes.
Yes, deceitful means he's not being honest. Okay? They even had their children lie. They pretended to cry. Were they really sad?
No.
No.
Even soup.
Okay. And there's the mayor. What a pity, the captain said. Did you hear that, amigos? There's nothing to eat in this town. It looks like we're going to have to make cactus soup. Oh no, the soldiers cried. Not cactus soup again. Stop complaining, the captain said. Cactus soup is better than no soup at all. The children stopped crying. Everyone in the plaza leaned forward to listen as the mayor asked, "What is cactus soup?" "You'll see," said the captain. "I'll make enough for my soldiers and everyone in town. However, I'm going to need help. Can you bring me a kettle of water, a stirring spoon, plenty of firewood, and 1 cactus thorn? We have lots of people to feed, so bring the biggest thorn you can find." The mayor ordered everyone to help. A kettle of water was soon boiling in the plaza. Cactus grew everywhere in town. The children had no trouble finding a huge thorn as long and as sharp as a needle. So here's their thorn.
I think this is it. They're going to tell them that they're going to do it.
Maybe. "This thorn will make plenty of soup," the captain exclaimed. He dropped it into the kettle and began stirring. "How can anyone make soup from a cactus thorn?" asked the priest. "Watch carefully. Perhaps we'll learn something," whispered the mayor. The people of San Miguel looked on as the captain stirred, and stirred, and stirred. He lifted the spoon, blew on it, let it cool, had a taste. "Not bad," he declared as he continued stirring. "I always find that a pinch or 2 of salt improves the flavor. But never mind. I know how poor you are. Why ask for what you don't have?" "We have salt," said the mayor. "We're not as poor as that." "And pepper, too," the town clerk added. "Does cactus soup taste good with chilies?" "Cactus soup is outstanding with chilies," the soldiers exclaimed. People tripped over themselves running home to fetch salt. The children climbed trees to bring down strings of chili peppers. The captain stirred the salt and chilies into the soup. He took another taste. "It's getting better," he declared. "Too bad you don't have onions. Cactus soup always tastes better with onions. But why ask for what you don't have?"
They're pretty much telling them that they really do have all these things, that they're not poor. And he knows, the captain knows.
Yes.
Oh, you just like that ramen soup with 10.
Here's the picture up top. Here's people bringing onions. "I know where I can find some onions," said the priest. "What about garlic?" I asked the sacristan. "Garlic makes excellent soup," the captain answered. The priest and the sacristan ran to the church. They came back a few minutes later with a sack of onions and several heads of garlic. The captain chopped up the vegetables and dropped them into the kettle. Does anybody know what a kettle is?
Yes.
What is it?
Like, something, like a big pot.
A big pot. Very good. "Smell that soup," he exclaimed as he continued stirring. The people of San Miguel sniffed the air. "Soup that smells this good must taste wonderful," cried the members of the town council. "If only we had some beans and carrots and tomatoes and perhaps even a fat stewing hen. Then our soup would really have flavor," said the captain. "But it's fine the way it is. Why ask for what you don't have?"
He really knows.
Oh, so there they go. They're bringing more food. The townspeople winked at each other. "Come with us," they told the soldiers. They returned in a few minutes carrying sacks of beans, bunches of carrots, baskets of tomatoes, and several fat stewing hens. "The hens were old," said the mayor. "They wouldn't have lived much longer." "The tomatoes were spoiled," said the barber. "The beans were rotten," said the school teacher. "The carrots were moldy," said the shoemaker. Never mind, said the captain as he stirred and stirred the ingredients into the thick, rich soup. That's the best part of cactus soup. Whatever you add makes it taste good. I think it's ready now. Who wants to try some? Me! Everyone lined up in the plaza, bowls in hand. The captain ladled out the soup. This is the best soup I ever ate, said the mayor. I never tasted anything like it, said his wife. And to think it was made from a cactus thorn, exclaimed the priest.
That kind of looks good. Where did they get the bowls if they were poor?
Where did they get the bowls if they were poor?
They're not really poor.
Or they're not really poor, but maybe they're letting their guard down.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They lied in the captain knew the whole time.
So they really are trying to be deceiving, but then when it came time to eat, I think maybe their bellies got them distracted from their lying and their deceit. Maybe. Let's see what happens. Not bad, said the captain. However, I think cactus soup always tastes better when you have something to go with it. Such as, all the people asked, tortillas, tamales, sweet potatoes, a roasting pig, cried the soldiers. That would make for a real fiesta, the captain said. And some music, too, for dancing later on. However, I know how poor you are. Why ask for what you don't have? Wait here, the mayor told the soldiers. He whispered orders to everyone in town. They all ran home and came back carrying tortillas, tamales, chorizo, camotes, and several fat roasting pigs.
They know now.
Wait, what about the music?
Chorizo. I'm not very good at speaking Spanish. Chorizo, isn't that what I said?
Chorizo.
How do you say this one? Camotes? Camotes?
Camotes.
Camotes. What is camotes?
It's like this kind of fruit or something.
A fruit?
So she can understand it, but yeah, she can.
What a feast they had. As the night wore on, soldiers and townspeople ate until they couldn't hold another bite. Then they brought out accordions and guitars for singing and dancing. The fiesta lasted until dawn. Nobody in town could remember anything like it.
It looks so fun.
Lots of yummy food. And there they go. The soldiers rode away in the morning. The people of San Miguel gathered in the plaza to wave goodbye. What will we do if more soldiers come? They asked the mayor when the last soldier disappeared from sight. Let them come. The more the better, the mayor replied. Feeding soldiers is no trouble. We can feed a whole army and have a fiesta every night, as long as we remember how to make cactus soup.
They don't remember.
Author's note. So this is Pancho Villa, Emiliano Zapata, and the author's note says, the story of stone soup or nail soup appears in cultures around the world. I chose to set this version in the time of the Mexican Revolution, which lasted from 1910 to 1922. Under leaders such as Pancho Villa and Emiliano Zapata, the common people of Mexico struggled to take back political and economic power from the wealthy classes and foreign business interests that controlled most of the country.
They told a fib.
Okay. But the soldiers also, too, when they came into town, they immediately had a stereotype. What is a stereotype? Y'all know?
Yeah.
Do y'all know what a stereotype is? Okay, well, it's where you kind of judge something or someone before you actually get to know them. Or you think of a situation that's happened to you and you judge the next situation the same way without getting to really know. Okay? So they saw people dressed raggedy and they didn't have any any food, so they automatically assumed that they were what? Poor. Okay? When they really weren't. So someone may dress raggedy, but does that necessarily mean they're poor? No. Okay, so that's a stereotype when you really kind of judge something based off your previous experience, but it doesn't always apply. Okay, so you have to keep an open mind when you're getting to know people or different situations. Kaylee?
This story lets us know to never lie.
Yes, not to lie. Plus, did they end up having fun?
Yes.
Yes. Did the soldiers take all of their food?
No.
No. They ended up, if every person pitches in a little bit, then they all get to enjoy it, right? They all got to enjoy the soup and the fiesta, okay? And it only took a little bit of each person chipping in, okay? Kelsey?
And the big guy, the mayor, they wanted them to lie for him.
Yes, so the mayor, he kind of was being, he was doing a stereotype on the soldiers, right? He thought that they were all going to just come in and steal food, okay? So he could have got to know them first before judging them, okay?
Really, they didn't have to do it. But the nurse said
The town didn't have to do it, or the soldiers didn't have to do it?
The town.
like hide all their food and stuff because they had fun.
Yeah, they should have just trusted the people, the soldiers, right?
They could have had a fiesta.
Okay, now we're going to look at the vocabulary words that we heard in this story.
I don't remember that.
Troop. Troop. What is a troop?
A group of people. A group of soldiers.
Group of people or a group of soldiers. So it talked about the troop coming into town, and that's talking about a group of soldiers.
What about like a
Okay?
troop or like a police officer? Is that the sound?
No, that's different. Grumbled. What does it mean to grumble?
Complaint in a low voice.
Complained in a low voice.
You read through this? Mark them all.
I'm highlighting the ones that you will definitely need to know for your test.
Fair.
Okay, let's see where it talks about grumbled.
To allow or share.
Okay, so it says, not everyone was happy to see them. Soldiers are all alike. No matter whose side they fight on, the mayor grumbled. So he's complaining, right?
Yeah.
He's complaining that the soldiers are just going to come take all of their food. And that's the stereotype. He's saying soldiers are all alike. Are they? No, they're not all alike.
They're all unique.
He assumed that they were going to all come in there like wolves and eat everything they had. But no, they actually cooked for the whole town. Okay? That's what it means to stereotype. Okay? So he said that all soldiers are alike. Spare.
To allow or share.
Okay, so if you can spare something, that means you can allow somebody else to have it or share it. Like, do you have any salt to spare? That they're asking the townspeople, do you have any salt to spare? That means, do you have any you can share? Yes, they did. Nudged.
To push gently or touch someone to gain their attention.
Nudged. Good. Story, they nudged the children. What were they nudging the children to do?
To lie.
To start what?
To lie.
To start crying, yeah, and to lie and pretend like they were sad.
They're actually
So let's see. It says the parents nudged their children who began crying bitterly just as they had practiced. So when it says nudged, what are they doing?
They're to push.
They're gently pushing them. So nudge means to push gently. Uh-huh. Fetch.
To go for something and bring it back.
To go for something and bring it back. So the people in the town went to go fetch all the ingredients, right?
That sounds like a dog. Like they throw something.
Yeah, and when dogs fetch, they go get it and bring it back.
But they really make it sound like they're a dog.
Yes, but we can use that word for humans too, not just dogs.
Go fetch that water.
Herded. To gather or come together. Yep, they gathered together in the plaza.
Prancing.
Okay, the next one, prancing. What were the horses doing? Prancing. So prancing means to raise the front legs and spring forward with the rear legs. Okay, so let's see where it says prancing. Right here. So if you look at the horse's legs.
They're prancing.
Yep, it says the soldiers came riding into town on prancing horses.
That means they dance.
So their front legs are kind of coming up really high when you see a horse prance. Okay? Okay, saluted.
To show respect by raising the hand to your forehead.
Okay, raising your hand to your forehead, that's salute. So everybody hold your hand like this
Like soldiers.
and show me a salute. No, that's not a salute, Gregory. You're just banging yourself in the head. Hold it up like this, and then you go like that. That's a salute, okay? Ladled. They ladled the soup when it was done. So that means they get a big old scoop and dip into the pot to scoop it up, right? So a ladle is like a big scoop of something.
That means like you labeled something.
Kettle.
Kettle. We talked about that in the story. Kettle is a big pot. So think about all the ingredients they needed. It would take a big pot for all those ingredients.
Yeah, like.
Okay, declared. If I declare, that means I'm announcing something and you're saying it strongly. Okay? Declared.
We're doing all of them.
Well, and actually I highlighted ladles. We didn't need, or you won't see that on your test. Sacristan, and I'm not sure if I'm even saying that right. Sacristan. It may be sacristan. A religious official. Okay? We don't need to know that one. But it does say it in the story, and it means a religious official. All of them except for ladled and sacristan. Okay? So everyone except for these two. But remember the last 1, 2, 3, 4. The last 4. Oops. Hold on. The last 4 are usually the ones that you have to come up with your own sentence, okay, for the test. All right, that's all we're going to do for reading today, so you can put this away and make sure you're practicing these at home, because this is the only thing you have for homework this week: vocabulary, spelling, and study your math facts, okay? So I expect everyone to get 100 on their vocab.